Hello everyone! Here we have a very interesting Spectrum posting by Snarls. Jared describes Squadron 42 as a fully interactive, cinematic first-person narrative experience.
And the other one is a fully interactive, cinematic, first-person narrative experience.
Seems very telling to me to hear Squadron 42 described like this by Jared, further confirming my original thoughts, concerns in regards to Squadron 42 and the gameplay we've been shown over the past 13 years. In that the game isn't much of a game, but a cutscene simulator where you move your character from one cutscene to the next with little actual gameplay in between. Of course I could ultimately be wrong, but I doubt it. Now, judging by the 2024 SeasonCon Squadron 42 demo, yes, there is a lot of cinema in the game. There were cutscene after cutscene after cutscene interrupted by a bit of gameplay on rails. Like enemies flying straight towards your turret, no evasive maneuvers. And then another cutscene, another cutscene, another cutscene, again interrupted by a bit of gameplay on rails. Now this was of course the intro. I hope the rest of the game is not like that, but it's a Chris Roberts game. There's a good chance the whole game is just an interactive movie. They should drop Squadron 42 and focus on what has earned them the $1 billion Star Citizen Persistent Universe. Allegedly, more than 80% of CRG devs are still working exclusively on Squadron 42. And most of CRG's money went into Squadron 42, not a PU. There is still only a skeleton crew working on the PU, and not exactly the best people, because the best people are working on Squadron 42. Some things done for Squadron 42 will roll over to the PU, but not the very expensive actors, not the very expensive cutscenes, and I hope not the terrible UI, item interaction and inventory system. If Squadron 42 used the same terrible holographic UI, the same terrible item interaction and the same terrible inventory system, good night, Chris. And even if you assume the best, Squadron 42 will be a fantastic game. It will never make at least $500 million, maybe more, Chris put just into Squadron 42. By the way, if this number is correct and Chris only put $500 million exclusively into Squadron 42, this does not mean that the PU received the other $500 million. CRG's Manchester building, CRG's very expensive art and CRG's very expensive cinema room cost a lot. Chris was always dreaming about a career as a Hollywood director, but this didn't exactly go well. In 1999, Chris released his Wing Commander movie, and ratings aren't exactly fantastic. IMDb 4.4 of 10, Rotten Tomatoes 10%. Chris even stole a scene from Das Boot, including Jürgen Prochnow. I will show you now this scene.
They've missed us! Yeah! Come on! Quiet! Shh. There's a destroyer hunting us. They've spotted us. No. They're nuking every crater. Methodical bastards. The doors are failing!
Yeah, this movie was absolute garbage. If you can watch it for free, I suggest you are doing this. It is so funny at times because it's so bad. Dialogues are so cringe. Of course, this does not mean that Squadron 42 will be an interactive movie. It does not mean that it will be as bad as Chris' Wing Commander movie. But maybe it's Chris Roberts after all. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye. Auf Wiedersehen.
All I wanted was another wing commander. But that's not what I got. I got Mr. Bones' wild ride. But there's no stopping it now. If the money stops, there'll be no game at all. And it would have all been for nothing. We invest today. So in 40 years from now, when you're surrounded by everything and everyone you hold dear, and they ask, what did you do when everyone invested in crypto? You can look them in the eye and say, I held the line. Men and women of Star Citizen, I am proud to spend with you today, or we're fucked. Push a button.
Nice speech.
Any word from the development team?
Not yet.
Then let's assume the position.
Hey, you're still here. You might want to join me on Twitter or on Blue Sky.